November 14th, 2023. This is just a quick video of my air pruning setup that I'm doing for growing a bunch of hazelnut trees. These are going to go on the back of the property over here to kind of shield out anybody really looking on the property. It's just too wide open. So I planted about 160 some odd seeds in here. Hopefully at least half of them will grow, if not more. These were all seeds that sank when I initially harvested them at Steve's place. So they're about, spaced every 2 inches down there, and there's 12 seeds per row and 15 rows. I sprayed them down liberally with deer repellent and dog and cat repellent. It's the same active ingredients as in the rodent and the squirrel, just a lot more concentrated. So about 2/3 of that is filled with the hazelnuts, and then over on this side I actually have, see if we can look in there, there's actually lavender that I planted in there. So there's 6 rows of lavender. The first row on the right is Hidcoat, the middle is Phenomenal, and the left is Munstead. I wanted to just see if these would work in an air pruning table as well, instead of having to put them in my basement all winter under grow lights. I'm still going to do that, but I was just curious to see if this would actually work. So I stripped off, I cut about 4-inch lengths of each and stripped off the bottom 2 inches and jammed them into the soil along with some sand that I mixed in with it. And there's rooting hormone in there as well. I'm hoping that they root, but we'll just see what happens. I mean, the highs right now are in the mid to upper 50s. Lows get down to the mid to upper 30s. If I can get maybe a month of that, maybe these will root and be okay over winter. I'll probably throw some straw over them this winter just to kind of help protect them a bit. So you can see the lavender there. And here, and then the straw is all of my hazelnuts. And while I'm here, I also planted my hummingbird flowers next to the utility pole. I thought that the vines were dead, but they're actually still green when I checked them. So I planted them, got little flags there to denote which is which. We'll see what happens in the spring. But I did spray those, I sprayed the entire thing liberally with the deer and dog and cat repellent. That should take care of all the mice and squirrels that might come in. And that's 1/2-inch fencing wire. And this was just scrap wood that I had from an old play fort that the previous owner had installed in place. So here is the dog and cat stopper. You can see the active ingredients there. And then we have the deer stopper with the active ingredients there. And if I mix the two, they are roughly equivalent to what the squirrel and rodent repellent is, just a lot more concentrated. And I've got my good seeds still in a coffee mug or coffee container here. So you can see all those. There's still half a container left. These are good seeds. I'm going to probably eat these this winter. So that's about half a coffee container of them left. I have about a 1/2 gallon of seeds that floated. I'm going to use those for just feeding the squirrels, just to stick them outside the kitchen window or door and let them come up there and eat while the cats are watching and have the cats go ape shit. And let's see, anything else? I'll just take some quick video of this while I'm here. So this is the spot that I completely cleaned out. I've got it leveled out. I put some filtered in to kind of clean that up so there was no real big divots. And I've got my disc and brush hog back here. I'm going to still plan to put a wooden tow bar on that disc yet this winter and run through here and disc up this a little bit just to kind of clean it up. And the fire all burned down really, really well. I mean, there's nothing left of that one, very little left of that. I'll bring the loader out here in a couple of, maybe later this week, and dump all the ash on the garden before I end up disking everything in. Let's see, anything else I should mention while I'm out here? Well, the fire burned fine. There was no real problems at all. I thought it was going to be worse than it was, but it burned fairly low. It smudged for about 24 to 48 hours. And got the trailer over here. And probably, this weekend or next, I'll come out and grab a dozen of each one of these lavenders and also plant them in the house, just so I have spare in there. And I might bring one of the cherry grafts out here and plant it back behind the pear that's right over there. The far one at that end is a Bosque pear. I might plant him right behind it. Other than that, everything seems to be doing well. I measured this space here, and it's about 18 feet from the edge of the pole to the edge of the mulch over there. NIPSCO needs a minimum of 15 feet, so I've got a little bit of play that I can put an electric fence. I don't know if I'm going to need an electric fence for keeping the deer off of the raspberries and blackberries. They're thornless, so they might go after them, but they might not. I don't know. I'll have to check on the berry groups and see if they have any problems with it. But I am going to have to do it for the kiwis and grapes, currants, elderberries, because the deer are unfortunately going after them. They're protected, but I need to get them. I need to get something over here to take care of it. So I'm going to grab a solar-powered electric fence controller this winter, and sometime this spring I'll come out here and run a wire or an electrical cord over to the fence and power it. So the plan would be to put a corner over here, back there, and then probably over here, at least along the currants, if not along the raspberries. I'll probably put them along the raspberries just to play it safe. I measured the distance between those poles for the grapes, and they're about 24 feet. I don't have conduit that's that long, so I would have to use 2.5 pieces of conduit with a coupler in it. I think it's too wide to do that, so I'm probably going to have to stake it somehow instead of using Luke's idea of putting bars across the top like he did at his place. That's pretty much everything in a nutshell here. It's getting dark, so I need to kind of finish up. So that's the way everything looks out at the farm as of November 14th, 2023.